Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm doing the mid-year book freakout tag. So I will link the original creator and tag down below as well as all the questions, and I will also link my past videos that I've done for this tag down below. I'm sorry this video is going up a little bit late, but technically the halfway point into 2020 was July 2nd, and I wanted to make sure that I included all of my June reading into this tag, so I wanted to have my June wrap up before I put up this video, so that's why this is kind of late, but better late than never. So let's just get into the tag. Before we do get started, I have read a total of 130 books so far in 2020. That is just including up till June, like the end of June. So I'm not including any of July's reading so far, just all the way up to the end of June. I have read 136 books. My goal is always to hit like around 250. Secretly, I would love to hit 300, but I just don't feel like that's gonna happen this year. Anyways, let's get on to all of the questions. So question number 1, best book you've read so far in 2020. I obviously don't have just one book yet, so I'm gonna name a few of my best books that I've read so far this year. So obviously The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. I also really loved Keep Her Safe by K.A. Tucker. Undeniable by Melanie Harlow was fantastic. I loved this book. Gypsy King by Devney Perry was a fantastic book as well. I really enjoyed it. Also The Dominator by Dee Prince. A great dark romance that I absolutely just loved and devoured. It was so good. And then so far another favorite is Southern Storms by Brittany Cherry. And most of these I have talked in depth about in my recent favorite books videos. I will link those videos down below if you want to know like more in-depth thoughts and feelings on those books. Number 2, best sequel you've read so far in 2020. I feel like it's really rare for me to read like a direct sequel about the same characters, following kind of the same story. Usually I read a lot of companion books that are technically standalones, so I don't have a direct sequel. But the sequel that I did really enjoy was Riven Knight by Devney Perry. This is book 2 in the Tin Gypsies series. This is kind of loosely a sequel. It does follow a different couple. The first book, Gypsy King, and this one have the same mystery plot, and like it's a continuation, and because both couples are very intertwined, I do feel like you have to read the first book before reading this one, just because you'll be kind of confused. So I do feel like this counts for this question. This whole series follows different characters in this small town where there used to be a very popular motorcycle club called the Tin Gypsies, and they closed down their club for some very secretive reasons. And then there becomes a murder in the town, and everybody looks to the former MC because they, you know, were mixed up in crime, and they become the suspects. And in this book you kind of find out what happens, and it's all kind of the downfall of all of that. Yeah, if you're looking for some small town romances with a good mystery plot and something that's a little bit deeper, I highly recommend this series. Number 3, new release you haven't read yet but want to. I have a few that I'm going to quickly mention. The first one is Rage and Ruin by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is book 2 in the Harbinger trilogy. I really want to read this. I haven't read it yet. Hopefully I can read this very soon. I would also love to read Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. I just honestly haven't had the time to read in the last little while, so whenever I have time, I definitely will be picking this up next. I've heard amazing things. I can't wait to read this. And then I would also love to read Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, because yes, I haven't read it yet either. Honestly, probably should have read this during quarantine when I actually had the time, because now I'm back at work and I don't honestly have the time to read this. So we'll see whenever I get to this, but hopefully I can read it very, very soon. Number 4, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I will actually have a video coming out very soon about this. I will be making another most anticipated releases of the year part 2, so that should be coming within the next couple of days, but I will mention a few that I'm very excited for. So I can't wait for Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer, Crush by Tracy Wolff. This is the sequel to Crave. This is out in September, I do believe. Crazy Stupid Bromance by Alyssa K. Adams I'm really excited for. This comes out in October. And I'm also really excited for Fragile Longing by Cora Riley. This comes out in August. Very excited for all 4 of these, and make sure you stay tuned for my video coming out soon. Number 5, biggest disappointment. For this, I'm going with Beach Read by Emily Henry. I think I not only hyped it up for myself, but I feel like I had heard so many good things and everybody was giving it high ratings and high reviews, and everybody was just praising this book that when I picked it up, I expected that I was going to give it 5 stars as well. I thought I was going to love it. And I read it, and I think I was like not even that far in, and I was already bored. I just didn't really like the characters. I couldn't really, not that I couldn't connect with them, I just didn't find them that interesting, and I didn't feel their connection and their attraction or their love for each other. Like I didn't really see it. The only thing that I enjoyed about this book was January and her relationship / issues with her father. I thought that was really interesting, but other than that, I just feel like this book was kind of all over the place for me. I didn't know if this book was supposed to be like a rom-com summery light book, or if it was supposed to be this like emotional, heavy, family driven drama book. I don't know. And I also just feel like personally I didn't feel like there was enough romance in here, and I'm also realizing more and more that I am very picky with books that feature writers. They tend to kind of just bore me for some reason, so I don't know, I just was disappointed by this. I gave it 3 stars. It's not a bad book, it's not horrible. I just had higher expectations and it just disappointed me, I guess. Number 6, biggest surprise. For this, I am going with Undercover Bromance by Alyssa K. Adams. This is the second book in the Bromance Book Club series. Early reviewers were giving this book like 3 stars, so not amazing, but not horrible, obviously. I kind of went into it thinking like, oh, it's going to be a 3-star read for me, and I loved this. Like, I almost could have given this 5 stars. I loved the characters, I loved the romance, I loved how it had a good amount of funny and serious. This book also made me laugh a lot, and I just had a blast. I think I just enjoyed this storyline a little bit more than the first book. I didn't like Liv in the Bromance Book Club. I didn't think I'd like her that much in here either, but I actually enjoyed her, and I thought Mac was really great, and I just loved their romance. As I said, I liked the storyline. It just really surprised me. Like, I just really enjoyed it. I can see why people don't love this one that much, but I did personally really enjoy it. I feel like it could possibly be in my top 10 of the year if something else doesn't bump it. Who knows? Number 7, favorite new author, debut, or new to you? New to me, and that is Didi Prince. I read the Dominator trilogy and absolutely loved it, and I definitely want to read more from this author. From what I have read so far, I have absolutely loved, and I can see myself auto buying this author in the future. So yeah, definitely loving Didi Prince and can't wait to read more from her. Number 8, newest fictional crush, and for this I'm actually gonna go with Tommy from the Dominator by Didi Prince. This is a very, very, very dark mafia romance, arranged marriage, sort of. Tommy is very much like an anti-hero. He is not a good guy. He is very, I want to say like rotten to the core. but he's not a good guy. There's just something about him that I wanted to know more of and read more of, and I could not stop thinking about him and Tia and their relationship and their journey, and I just thought he was so interesting. This book is very dark, trigger warnings for assault, and a lot of dubious consent and non-consensual sex scenes and stuff. So be very wary if you do decide to pick this book up, but I love Tommy. Number 9, newest favorite character. For this, I'm going to go with Audrey Rose from Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I just really enjoyed Audrey Rose. I thought she was a great character. I definitely need to continue the series. I haven't yet. This is a YA historical fiction. It has sort of a mystery element to it. I just thought it was great. I really loved Audrey Rose and Thomas and the whole setting, the whole vibe. This book was just great. And again, as I said, I loved Audrey Rose and I can't wait to read more about her. Number 10, book that made you cry. For this, I am going with Written in the Scars by Adriana Locke. This book was super emotional. It deals with a lot of serious topics like infertility and death, and it was just such a beautiful book and I cried a lot. It was just a fantastic read. Number 11, book that made you happy. For this, I'm going with the Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. This book was just super cute and adorable. I loved both characters and their romance, and I definitely was smiling throughout the whole book. Definitely a very happy and cutesy book. Number 12, most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. I do have a few pretty books. The first one is Crave by Tracy Wolff. I absolutely love this cover. I just think it's so pretty. I know a lot of people think it's like a Twilight knockoff, but I mean, I still love it. I think it's so pretty, and it has like deckled edges too, which is really nice. I also really do love the covers of Gypsy King and Riven Knight. I just think they are so pretty. I don't know. They're just like really aesthetically pleasing. So I really love these covers as well. 13, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? I have so many that I need to get to. I feel like during quarantine, I should have been using that time wisely to read all of the books that have been piling up, which I did do a few of them, but there's definitely more that I could have fit in there and I just didn't. I would love to read My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. Definitely want to read this by the end of the year. I also really need to read Say You Still Love Me by K.A. Tucker. I've been saying I need to read this for like, I want to say 2 years, so I better get on it. I also really need to read The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I started it, but I need to continue. I think I only read like 10 pages, but I need to officially read that. So I need to get on that one. And then I need to read something by Kennedy Ryan, like either The Kingmaker or her sports romances. I need to read something by her because I've been saying that I need to read her books for over a year and I still haven't done it yet. So I need to get on that as well. Number 14, favorite book to film adaptation you saw this year. Probably Gabriel's Inferno Part 1 on Passionflix. Honestly, the movie is just so great. I really do love it. I love the casting. I love the way the movie was shot. I will link my whole review for that movie down below if you want to know more of my thoughts. I just loved Part 1. I'm very excited for Part 2 that comes out later this month. Yeah, definitely a new favorite movie. Number 15, favorite video you've done so far this year. Definitely my Gabriel's Inferno review for Part 1. That is one of my favorite videos I've ever done. It's not anything super special or super unique or super different for me, but I just had a blast filming that video and also editing it, and I love the response that you guys had for that video. So I just genuinely love that video, and it's honestly one of my favorite videos I've ever done. That is it for this tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know some of your favorite books of the year so far, or some books that you definitely need to read by the end of the year. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.